Raider Jim. How are you doing? And overall, just maybe the temperature of Raider Nation, as we will, of course, dive into the game in a little bit, but the temperature around Raider Nation right now.
Oh, let me tell you, I have, there's a core group of folks that I go back and forth with on X or Twitter, if you still refer to it as such. And wow, seldom have I ever seen so many. I'm not even going to bother to watch it. Why would I waste my time? Why did I waste my time? There's not the same, everybody's fired up on game day. It's like now the text, the messages that come across are, well, at least it'll be over pretty soon type of an environment. And I will say what I do really am getting entertainment out of is some of the Raiderettes on this thread. These women, they bring the locker room talk. Let me tell you, they would probably make a lot of guys in locker rooms blush with the things that they post. Hysterical. And that has been pretty entertaining. But overall, everybody, a lot of common denominator, a lot of common thread there. It's the ownership, it's the coach, it's he should have stayed retired. Me personally, where I'm going to go. We're number 30 in offense, but not just number 30 in offense. We picked a running back as our first draft pick, and we are 32nd in rushing. In the entire NFL, he's averaging 53 yards per game. He needs to average 73 over the last 5 to reach 1,000 yards. He's going to go down possibly as the next JaMarcus Russell.
No, I'm not ready there. I'm not going to let you go there, Raider Jim. I know there's a cliff and I know it looks juicy. It's 14 games, or I guess 13, or I guess maybe even 12 for the Raiders if they've had their bye. It's not a good offensive line. I think for him, it's unfortunate because I would be interested to see his fourth quarter yards, because they're probably ridiculous, because they're probably, actually, you should probably look at fourth quarter carries, because unfortunately, I think with the Raiders, they're in just so many situations where they just got to they got to throw the ball. Very, very unfortunate situation, but I'm not going to let you give up on Genty yet. You got to give me at least until next year. But I will give, Raider Nation and Raider Jim, I mean, I don't know if this is a little bit of hope. I think it's maybe more parallel to your locker room talk with the Raider Nation. But there's a lovely site, and they're all over the place, but it's Tankathon. It'll give you all your odds of getting the number 1 overall pick, because Raider Jim and Raider Nation, it is officially mock draft season for y'all.
It is.
You need to you got to bite the bullet. And yeah, if you got to go for a walk on a Sunday instead of watching this team, which I completely understand. But yeah, just kind of hope for bottoming out. And that would be an opportunity, but you do have to get it right. And I don't know, the quarterback picture, I talked about it about a month ago, is very different than what we were staring down. There were a lot of teams that would have loved the first overall pick that needed a quarterback. Now a lot have questions, but that's for, months down the line. But I think for Raider Jim and Raider Nation, I can at least give you a little solace that, hey, there is at least something to look forward to in the draft. But I will give you one final question, Raider Jim.
Sure.
And then we'll get to our thoughts overall. But do you bring back Pete Carroll?
No.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of 1-year coaching or anything like that, but I expected Pete Carroll to come in and at the very least would change the culture or change the attitude, and it has not happened. And he looks, as lifeless as Pete Carroll can look. That's what he looks like on the sideline. It's very unfortunate. And as a Pete Carroll fan, myself as an SC fan, it is unfortunate. And I think we have to agree. It is because he's better than this. And I really do think the Raiders are as well. I don't think they're great, but I think they're better than this. But at the end of the day, you are what your record says you are. That's what I think Bill Parcells said. So all that other stuff, it's all horse excrement. Anyway.
Yeah, and then here we are, one more season where Maxx Crosby, the wear and tear on his body, you're not going to play at that caliber year in and year out without taking a beating, and he's already taken a beating, and his knee is messed up now. So time's running out on him, I think, too.
Well, and even the want and the desire, you're gonna go full bore in the offseason if the team doesn't, and again, Maxx Crosby isn't a general manager, but if they don't make the moves that I think a lot of people at the very least expect them to try and make. Geno Smith experiment has failed. I think we can all agree there. You got to move on, and I think you have to somehow, some way, get an offensive line in front of that.
Absolutely.
Because I think everything else builds out from there.